Hello and welcome to the Extra Point Show. I am your host, Nick Rice. In an exhilarating Week 15 of the year, the entire Sunday could be exemplified in Arrowhead, where one of the greatest games of the entire year broke out between the Chiefs and the Browns, with the season on the line for both. 1987 Browns, 2019 Chiefs. It comes to no surprise that Mahomes and Kansas City are the highest scoring offense in the greatest team season. Mahomes played well, but Damian Williams was a man on a mission against Cleveland on Sunday. The Chiefs stockpiled points in the second half, but this was just an incredible game between two great offenses playing their best football of the year. Chiefs 47, Browns 30. 1976 Raiders, 1998 Broncos. The AFC West is getting really good, and the Raiders threw a wrench in all of it with their overtime win against Denver. The Broncos lose another heartbreaker at home. They are now 0-2 in overtime and have lost a couple of games straight to pull the Raiders back into it. Ken Stabler had a hot and cold performance throughout, but it was John Elway who made the biggest mistake of the day with a pick six thrown to Phil Villapiano on his first pass of overtime. 1986 Giants, 1991 Redskins. The winner stays alive in the NFC East, and Washington scores 21 unanswered to go away in the fourth quarter of this one. The Giants have lost 4 games in a row, and they are eliminated from playoff contention. Phil Simms was a major culprit of the collapse with 2 interceptions and as many drives to clinch the Redskin win. Washington racked up 5 sacks in the victory and now lead the league with 29 sacks this season. What was missed in the game recaps was a legendary performance and winners of one of the 2 game balls from Week 15 of the year. Charger do 95 hands St. Louis running back Marshall Faulk the offensive game ball for Week 15. The Rams runner racked up 234 all-purpose yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in a dominant Rams win against Houston. Defensive Player of the Week, Steelers linebacker Jack Lambert. This absolutely is the greatest performance of the entire season so far, and he did everything possible to help the Steelers win the game against Green Bay in overtime. 5 tackles, 3 for loss, a sack, 3 interceptions, a league record, and 2 forced fumbles. What a performance, wire to wire, by Lambert against the Packers today. And that Pittsburgh overtime win made things a lot more complicated for Green Bay in the NFC North race. The Packers, if the playoffs started today, would be the second team out of the NFC wildcard, but they're tied with Tampa at 8-6 and can turn a lot around in that division with a victory. Detroit is 1-13. Meanwhile, in the NFC East, we have another potential division championship. Dallas wins this NFC East with a victory over the 91 Redskins. They play at the nation's capital this Sunday night. The Cowboys hold the tiebreaker over Washington overall. New York and Philadelphia are eliminated from the postseason. Speaking of the postseason, let's check out the current playoff leaders. First, out of the AFC, New England holds the tiebreaker over the Steelers, so they have the best angle right now for the 1 seed if it isn't Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Denver and Jacksonville are 3-4 out of the conference, with the wildcard clubs being Miami at 9-5, Buffalo and Oakland at 8-6. Meanwhile, the NFC, the 1989 Niners are the first conference club to clinch a playoff spot at 11-3. Carolina jumped into the 2 seed with their win on Sunday, that over the Vikings. Dallas is the 4 seed, with the current wildcard clubs being 10-4 St. Louis and 9-5 Chicago. There are the conference races after Week 15 of the regular season. I really wish that Week 16 started right now, but unfortunately we'll have to wait a week. But when it starts, it might be the greatest week of football of the season so far. This is Week 16 of the greatest team season, we have our only Friday night football game. That in Nashville between the 06 Chargers and the 99 Titans on the top left. We have 5 division games in the Week 16 docket and many great matchups across the league. Sunday night features a potential NFC East championship. Of course, the Cowboys clinch. Redskins make things interesting with a win there. And on Monday night, Minnesota visits Chicago. And make no mistake, the winner of that game is the division champion. 2020 Buccaneers, 2009 Saints. Congratulations to Tom Brady on the heels of his first win in Seattle in the history of his incredible career. Now he's got to win on the road again in order to make the playoffs. They battle the 8-6 Saints in a quarterback matchup for the ages. The first game was won by Brady at home, 38-35. We expect a very similar type of game in New Orleans this Sunday. 1992 Cowboys, 1991 Redskins. Washington has jumped out of nowhere right into the division race after their massive primetime win against the Giants. Well, good news for Rippin' of the Redskins. They're in primetime yet again, and the world will certainly notice if they defeat the powerhouse Cowboys this weekend. Washington is the current league leader in sacks, but it's hard to bring down the quarterback if Smith is running well. He might be the difference maker in the nation's capital on Sunday night. 1998 Vikings, 1985 Bears. Our final game preview is Monday Night Football from Soldier Field in Chicago. The winner of this game is NFC North champions, and it's hard to believe the Bears aren't division champs already, and a lot of that has to do with Minnesota's incredible season and Minnesota's win against Chicago at home a couple of weeks ago. The Bears have a chance for revenge, and weather is on their side. We are expecting temperatures in the low 20s and snow flurries throughout from Chicago. This week might go down as the best week in football, and I only previewed 3 of the great matchups for this week of the year. The Kurt Warner Bowl is also this weekend. Out of the desert, the greatest show on turf is in Arizona, the Battle of the 08 Cardinals, and so many other great games that I wasn't able to get to today. But you can watch all of the preview and the stories and the excellent stats and analysis of the week and the entire season at DreamSeasonFootballLeague.com. That is DreamSeasonFootballLeague.com. Incredible Week 16 this weekend. Until then, I am Nick Rice, and this has been The Extra Point.